just like that, they buy it. They eat it up. You pander to them, you thank them. I mean, really, people, I thought you were a little bit smarter than that. I mean, it's just so easy to say the name of the city. You cheer.
Hey, Stephanie,
you cheer. I mean, just come on.
Welcome to the A Show.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am Justin, here with my co-host Meelz. What is going on, Meelz? It is the 65th episode of our grand old show. How you doing?
Our future recordings are almost in jeopardy.
Why?
Today. They announced the next season of the challenge, and then so now they're airing on Wednesdays again. So they're back to Wednesdays. So I can watch SmackDown fully now, because before I wasn't watching SmackDown. I would watch the first half, and then whatever happened the second half, I would hear about it in YouTube or the water cooler or wherever. But usually they show at 10 o'clock, which is obviously the time we record.
Wow.
So I was for like a brief moment, I was confronted with a very hard decision in my life of whether I wanted to move the time we recorded the A Show or watch.
Well, that would have worked for me, honestly. Like if you moved
it would have never worked for me. So it's just kind of like I was confronted with my own hard decision of just like challenge or A Show, because I love the challenge. It's my only like pride and joy of the world. It's the only thing that makes me
more than wrestling.
Yeah, I would only say yes more than wrestling, because like I've legitimately turned off wrestling to watch the challenge.
Jesus Christ!
I don't do that.
Don't let the fans hear that.
I don't do that for anybody. You know what? I haven't even been binging the network as of late too. I think I'm in a wrestling. I think there's so much content. I'm just like, oh, here's the sirens. All right. I think I'm in so much content with professional wrestling.
That was the sirens coming to arrest your ass for saying that you put the fucking challenge over wrestling right now.
It is what it is. I'm over wrestled out. I'm wrestled out 3 hours and then 2 hours. And then whatever happens on Sunday.
You got a good 5 hours this week.
I got a good 5 hours, but after that, I don't really want to watch wrestling.
Wow, so, man, that's really hurtful. Like,
no, but we had a lot of wrestling to go over this past week. I mean, you know what? We had the wonderful from Blackpool, England itself. We had NXT Takeover UK.
And before we get to that, before we can talk about Takeover, we do have a couple of announcements at the end of the show today. One of them being about an upcoming show that we have, and another one being about the Rumble pool. So if you want to know the rules for the Rumble pool, we'll be going over the rules at the end of the show. So join us there. But as Meelz was saying, last weekend we all watched NXT Takeover. NXT UK Takeover Blackpool, which again emanated from Blackpool. What did you think, Meelz? What did you think of the show?
So
there was a lot of mixed reviews to the show, in my opinion.
I would say my reviews also mixed. I didn't watch it live, which is usually the first, usually all wrestling shows are enhanced by the live aspect of it, but I didn't watch it live because I was just out enjoying my life for a couple of hours alone. But what I did see, you know what? I will say this. It kind of reminded me of the first NXT TakeOver Arrival in 2014, with that sort of energy, with kind of the roster that they had, where they don't have a lot of stars, but they still are culminating stories and telling stories and having these great matches. I don't think it's like on the level of NXT TakeOver now, where each star, there's at least like 4 or 5 independent stars. There's a Ricochet, there's a Aleister Black, there's a Johnny Gargano, there's a Tommaso Ciampa. There isn't that bulk and that wealth of stars, but NXT the UK, it has Pete Dunne, It has Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley, but it doesn't have that full breadth of talent. But we did get a nice surprise, I'll say that, in the form of Finn Balor competing on the show. I thought that was incredible.
I like the show overall. I'd probably give like a 7.5, maybe 8.
Give it a 6. Not 6. Sorry, 7.
Bordering. I wouldn't say it's 6. I don't think there was a bad match on this show.
No, it wasn't. But I don't think anything like blew me out the water.
But if I get a show and looking at my ratings, I gave 3 of the matches 4 stars. The tag match was incredible. But
great.
That's what they do that, and I thought the right people went over on that match. I think Gibson and Drake. I always like when you give heels the first of anything. Yeah. I always think that's a great. You have something to give the baby faces a chase to. I thought Balor and Devlin again. I was surprised. I thought it was cool. Little did we know what was going to happen on Monday, but this was literally foreshadowing just how big of a star he is. There, that reaction he got. Like if you had any question who the most popular guy in the UK it was Finn Balor that night, Right. I thought him versus Devlin was really great, just with the teacher-student aspect. And I think it took nothing away from Travis Banks. I thought that he looked like I don't think he looked like, some people were like, he looked like a dork. I was like, no, I think they perfectly set up the way that this was going to happen. And I always love a good, he did the same thing with Corbin in my 5-star match at SummerSlam with Balor, where it's like they surprised you and gave the heel something that he wasn't prepared for. And I thought that was cool. Mastiff versus Dennis. A match I was admittedly not looking forward to. I ended up really liking that as a street fight or a no DQ match. I thought it was really, really fun. They pulled out some pretty cool spots on that.
I think so too. The fact the problem is I don't remember much of that match or who those people were. So it's kind of sully it for me, but maybe it's my own sort of memory because I kind of just literally I watched it, but I didn't experience it. And that's kind of how I felt about most of the show. Like I didn't feel like I was getting the full experience of it. And not to say it was a bad show. It's just there's so much like names and the fact I didn't see it live and the fact that I don't feel the same excitement for this brand as I do, but I'm welcome. The way this show, the way everything sort of built up and went on as it went through the show, I was getting progressively more excited. But yeah,
it wasn't bad. Again, it
wasn't bad. No.
I feel I'm just trying to fight through your malaise here and generally figure out
because I'm just like, and that's what it is. It's not like the NXT.
Did you go into the show wanting to know about these people?
Not really, no. You talked about it last week. I was just like, I'll just meet them when I get there. But I love the tag match, but I'm a fan of Mustache Mountain, so that it is. And then the Finn Balor Jordan Devlin match, I'm a fan of those two. Toni Storm versus Rhea Ripley, I know those two. Pete Dunne, Joe Coffey. My first experience with Joe Coffey, I kind of like them. Kind of like the fighting back and forth. I thought, I think you prepared me before. You was like, this. You're going to say this match went too long. Boy, did it go too long.
Yeah, it was too long. Before we get to that match, though, I thought Ripley and was generally a pretty good match with, and again the right person went over there too.
I agree. I just felt like there was this wave of momentum behind Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley is going to be Rhea Ripley for however long she wants to be Rhea Ripley. Like she's someone who is still a dominant force in the division. I feel like she could be champion again if she really wants to, and probably will be in the future. But Tony,
I think we get a rematch out of these two, and I think Rhea moves on to Zia Brookside or something.
And you know what? I think these two we haven't seen the last of them, and then we still have not seen the best of them going against each other. I still think they have more in this sort of tank that they can sort of pull out.
But back to Dunn and Coffey again. Match went almost 40 minutes. I thought it
more than 40 minutes according to Wikipedia. It went 43 minutes and 15 seconds.
Well, shit, you could probably clip maybe. Well, I think what they wanted to do was have that first takeover and give Dunn his first takeover match being that big match. But of course, as we said, coming into this, there wasn't like a big star for him to go against. He couldn't go against Bate because he's a face. Mm-hmm. He couldn't go against Seven because they're all in the same stable, so to speak, or literally. And there was really nobody else that they had built up on the TV at this point, but Coffey and Gallus, who was the big heel stable on the show. I thought this was a brawl. I don't think that like the first 10, 15 minutes was like, all right, like it's very slow and meandering, but I think it really turned up after that. I know a lot of people tuned out, I think, after that. It's the best Pete Dunne, the best up Pete Dunne I've seen in a long time, but it's like that finish, man, it really kept it from being something, in my opinion. It looked like they were going for like a top rope bitter end, and both times they fell off the top rope. And I just feel like it, like these men had gotten out of the sails.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that as well. And you know what? I think there was various points of the match where it was very, it was like a wave. They got you in and then they pulled it back out. And Pete Dunne is great at doing that. And I came out a fan. I think Joe Coffey comes out much better than he was going in, even though, the next big bad boss, is looming. But I do think that the match was good. Between that and the tag team match, I'm not sure which one was my favorite of the show, but I do think the tag team match benefits by not being that finish, and then how long the Pete Dunne and Joe Coffey match actually was.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of one thing I was not a fan of. The bitter end has been like really protected as a finish. Mm-hmm. And I was not cool with him kicking out of it twice. I think that was unnecessary, especially like as your top person. It's like Pete Dunne, that finish is like, it's one shot, one kill on everyone. And I was not a fan of that happening. I know he had to kick out of it a second time just for the finish to work with him doing the joint manipulation submission. Mm-hmm. But I even coming out of it, I was like, do not like the amount of kickouts that was in that match, but also do not like the amount of finisher kickouts. And that goes for Coffey too. Like his finisher had been protected pretty heavily from what I understood on TV. And that's one thing I was just not a fan of. Like the length and the actual, like some of the stuff they did with the finishers, not a fan of that. But overall,
do you think like wrestlers have that conversation nowadays about like protecting actual finishers? Because I knew back in the day, like when you had a finisher, you had like your finisher, and then like, someone would kick out if it's a big match, if it's a pay-per-view match, someone would kick out maybe once. But now it kind of seems like it's like minimum 2 times we're getting finishers kicked out. And then it kind of dilutes the fact of, the finisher itself. Do you feel like wrestlers, do you feel like it's a care now of just like, let's protect this move?
Yes, because there are certain moves, and we can name a lot of them right now that people don't kick out of. Curb stomp. Really pop-up powerbomb from Kevin Owens. That's really a protected finish. I don't remember seeing anyone kick out of that. Aleister Black Mass. Nobody kicks out of that. I think there are many that people they do protect, but there are certain ones that it's like they probably for the drama of the match they'll probably be like, okay, let me kick out of your finish. I'm pretty sure a lot of them probably say fuck no, like maybe Randy Orton, maybe Shinsuke probably say like fuck no, you're not kicking out of it. But in the end, like it essentially, and we could even talk about what happens with Finn Balor on Raw. It's like these are certain things that like I think at a certain point it's like you already know, like when there's an older wrestler and they're about to go out, especially in WWE, you start seeing more people kick out of their finishers. When AJ kicked out of like 3 AAs, I was like, oh wow. Like when Roman kicked out of 6 F5s, I was like, oh shit.
I was just like, yo, what is going on here? Because the F5 was always to me when growing up as a kid, the F5 was the truth.
That's
the F5 was probably the most impressive thing I've ever seen. And in life, like me and my friends were like, 12, 13 at the time. And we just see the F5 and we're just like, wow, that looks as painful as it like, it literally looks as painful like as it looks. I don't know what else to say, but it's like those situations like, yo, they're the truth. And I can remember succinctly the first time someone countered the F5 and it was Rob Van Dam at like King of the Ring 2002. I remember that crazy because it's just like they built up the F5 to that moment and then someone finally countered it. And I was like, holy crap on a crap. So it's, to me, I don't know. The finishers don't have the same, I guess they do sort of on the main roster in a sense, but it's like, they're not having the same sort of effect that they had before.
Yeah, I think, again, certain finishers do, but certain are kind of just like, they fall to the wayside. After the match, we had a big surprise that we figured was going to happen. It did happen. I think a lot of people were happy. I think a lot of people were waiting for it to happen. I was hoping he wasn't going to debut on NXT Germany because I mean, hell, I don't even know if we're gonna get that one.
Yeah, that's not even a thing right now.
Yeah, but I mean, it is a thing, but I mean, it's not like a thing yet. But Walter showed up, and I think a lot of people had agreed or pretty much set that that was the next big program for Pete and WWE NXT UK. He shows up, they do a stare down, he kicks out Joe Coffey, just to show that he could, and the show ends there. And I think honestly, from the perspective of what Walter means and what I know of him, he is automatically he's a draw. He's automatically he's an event. He is an event. And I think that it makes NXT UK a show that I'm going to watch because I want to see what happens.
Right.
And it also gives them another big tier guy next to Pete that they can play off of.
So just seeing Walter itself, Walter just came out and he looked like literally the big boss. He looked like you beat the game and you thought you beat the game and you thought like, oh my God, I got through Vega finally, like in Street Fighter. And then it's like, oh shit, here comes M. Bison. Oh man. And his jacket flew off. Woo.
That's literally who he is.
And Psycho Crusher. And oh shit, how am I going to beat him? Like that's legitimately how it feels. If Pete Dunne looked and it was kind of a mountain of a man. And Pete Dunne's despite being a small guy, he's managed to hold his own on this roster because he's been the most scrappy and he's been able to sort of maneuver around. But there's just from looking size alone, just from the look of it all, it's like, how do you maneuver around Walter?
Over 600 days, I think Pete Dunne's days are numbered. As far as that title goes.
You would have to think so, yeah.
I'm very excited about that. And here's the thing, like that's all that show needed to do to hook me in. And I'm going to watch that tonight, going to watch NXT tonight as well. And I think that, as far as the show, they have a lot of pieces. I think they need a couple more. And I think you've seen, they had a couple of, Jazzy Gobert showed up. And she signed. Kaylee Ray showed up. She's signing. I think those are two really great additions to their women's roster, which sorely needed it because I didn't feel like it was the strongest women's roster. And I think the men right now, maybe with Walter, it'll tip the scales a little bit and it makes it a lot better roster. But definitely something I'm going to be going into in 2019 and watching a lot more of.
I think, it definitely needs more stars. And I think, I was talking about last week how Noam Dar is down 205 Live. I think NXT UK needs Noam Dar more than 205 Live does, quite honestly, because to me this is a star, this is a brand, and especially if they use the blueprint that sort of that NXT NXT US brand sort of use and needs stars. It just needs stars. They need the draws. They need the people. If they want eyes on it, they need people who people are going to watch. So I'm advocating for Noam Dar on NXT UK. That's what I am.
I'm not a fan. I would like take anyone on earth.
Oh wow.
For him. I'm just not a fan of the guy. You want to talk about the latest news about releases and people requesting their releases?
Let's talk about it.
So today we got news of two acts, duos.
It's this AEW era. Everyone's asking for the way out now.
Yeah, fuck out of here. So there was news early this morning. It was through like Sean Ross Sapp, who basically left a GIF kind of alluding to it, but couldn't really confirm, and that's okay. Like these things are very fluid. That the Revival were asking, or they were afraid that they were going to ask for a release from WWE. Very cryptic. They haven't tweeted. They haven't said anything. Honestly, a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe the Revival. They're gonna leave." Honestly, man, if they want to go, they can go. Like I'm just like, I don't. Do you feel very strongly either way if they do leave? Because I don't.
All right. So with this entire Revival thing, to me, this is a lot of just like, this continues to be sort of the AEW narrative being thrown around by various publications. To me, that's just how it feels, because it kind of feels like, over the last week in regards to AEW, and I'm sure they're going to be a flourishing brand, but you have Chris Jericho, just signed, said it's the biggest contract of his life. And even though I'm sure, you know what? I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm sure it actually is. I feel like it is. because I feel like he was as big as he was in WWE, he was still ultimately like, enhancement and auxiliary player. And he was, don't get me wrong, that's kind of understating his role because he was also a very big superstar. But at the same time, he was not a John Cena. He was not a The Rock. He was not a Dave Bautista at any point. He was the guy who ultimately put them over, unfortunately. But he
was a champion. He was a
champion, but he wasn't the guy. He was never the guy at any point. Competed in.
Oh yes, he was. He was the first undisputed champion. He was main event shows.
He wasn't the guy. Come on, relax.
There was no guys at that point. He was the guy. Triple H
became the Triple H.
Triple H was gone.
He was gone for what? He literally returned the next month after Jericho won the strap.
I can't ever say
even NWO even NWO had more like.
Okay, I just think you're mythologizing Jericho a lot here.
No. I'm saying in regards to it could potentially be the biggest contract of his life. They don't really have a lot of guys, and there's not really that much star power on it. And it's $1 billion, whatever. I do think it's probably his biggest contract, but for 3 years, yeah, probably. But to me, it's kind of the sort of, the air around it, the narrative of like, oh, anybody can jump at any time. They sort of bringing that sort of back. And I think the revival, to me, a lot of people on the internet, this is easy to believe because a lot of people on the internet probably, want to believe that the revival should be tag team champions based off of their NXT tenure. But the WWE is a different ball game. And while I do think that their reign will come because everyone gets their reign eventually, it's not and I think their period will come. Do I think it's a major loss if they leave? No.
Listen, man, people gotta.
I like the revival.
Sure. They cool, but like at the end of the day, when they first came in, they beat the New Day, right? Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
First match, they beat the New Day. Literally a week later, they were injured.
This is true.
Came back, jaw wasn't injured. Was this the jaw? One of them, it was a jaw. Like, I think it was the same dude.
You can't, come on. If it's an injury, it's not like it's based on actual merit of they're not interesting. It's like, my guy just got injured.
What are you talking about?
Go ahead. Finish up.
Let me finish. I wasn't saying they weren't interesting. Mm-hmm. I'm saying I'm trying to pinpoint the reasons why people say they weren't given the opportunities they were given. It's like you say that reign will come. I'm trying to like piece it together. They won the main roster literally like 2 years ago, so that was like almost a whole year. They came back. He got injured literally again, and they were about to push them again. Mm-hmm. And then by that time, but people remember like Finn Balor's going through the same thing, or he went through the same thing, and now he's back, right? So he got injured. The card shifted. The story moved on. He was gone for almost a year. So it's like people like don't realize it. Like they wanted to push these guys. They absolutely wanted to, but right. it's just the timing wasn't right. And it's like, I don't know what they feel, but it's like, I don't know if they're happy, if they're unhappy. I don't know if they're leaving or if they're not leaving. My thing is this, like just the general conversation has to stop being that they're not getting a chance. You know who wasn't getting a chance? Apollo Crews wasn't getting a chance. Apollo Crews is now on your TV every single week. At least if he's not wrestling, he's cutting a promo. Your chance will like eventually come. I just don't understand. It's like what do they expect? But in more head scratching news, and we still got the same reaction to these two. Go ahead.
No. I legitimately think all the talk around the revival is because of their NXT tenure. It's not to me, it's not far-fetched. It's not far-fetched to believe. It's like these guys had a great run in NXT, and it's just like you wanted them to come to the main roster, and it's like, oh, inject that sort of chemistry, that tag team bond, that tag team intelligence.
It's a different world.
I understand. It's definitely a different world, but at the same time, it's like I don't think these two are like completely worthless. I just think, at this current like based on how they're currently positioned, if they come, they go. It's not really shaking up anything, Mm-hmm. But go ahead, run with the second one.
The more confusing one, and I'm pretty sure we're unanimous in this. Mike and Maria Kanellis allegedly, reportedly asked for their release a couple of weeks ago as well. Don't think that they were granted that because there's clearly still around.
Clearly,
in some capacity, in a ghost way. Listen, I saw people saying WWE doesn't realize Mike Bennett's potential, huh? What?
Mike Bennett was never really that good. Yeah,
no, never really, never good.
Mike
was
Bennett,
never good
to me. God. Yeah, I mean they can go.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm big good on this dude. I'm big good on him. Like if you want to leave, bye.
I always I'm intrigued just to see how it works in the WWE as opposed to everything else. But I mean, it's not really a big loss. The Maria and Mike thing, it just didn't work out. I would say also injury, but also
injury?
Just
pregnancy also.
Pregnancy as well. Pregnancy.
I think my thing is like this. I'm all for the love. I have your babies, man. But if you're like his wife was his gimmick. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the gimmick, and it was like, damn well, man. Damn well when you was doing what you was doing when you was doing it, what was about to happen.
Right.
You thought it was about to say, oh yeah, we definitely about to put her in that position where she could possibly get hurt. Nah, man. Like you supposed to handle that when you was in ROH or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But life happens. Life happens. I'm proud. I'm happy for them. They had a really nice baby shower pregnancy video from WWE. That was cool. If they were gonna do that though, hey, I'm not sad. I'm not sad, bro.
Maria and Mike is not a big loss. I think the sad part is I kind of like Maria.
I don't like her on Twitter.
I don't like her on Twitter, but I mean, she's very outspoken. I think that's really it. And it's not so much of the outspoken. It's just kind of like,
it's like, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of like, huh? And a lot of ill. And it's not like, it's just
advocating for the Divas title to come back.
Yeah, it's kind of like, all right, well, let's see what's going on here. But I like Maria. I ultimately like Maria. I think if anyone from 2005, Diva Search, and think that Maria would still be in the wrestling business, I wouldn't, could have fooled me. But I think she just is, as far as a mind and someone who wants to obviously soak up the business because she's been so closely related to it for literally almost 15 years now. Like, it's crazy that it's actually almost been that long. Yeah. It's just, I like her. It's just Mike Bennett. I don't know if it's working. She can stay. She can stay. I agree, but she's not going to.
Yeah, nah, it's not gonna happen.
She's not going to. So
it is what it is. I don't think they're gonna leave just for the fact that obviously WWE is probably not letting anybody go to any competitor anytime soon. I think they're gonna level this and just have them wait out their contract. So. I honestly think the Revival have nothing to worry about, and their fans don't either. I really do think they're going to get.
I think it's more so their fans. I mean, I don't know if it's actually true that they went and asked for their release, but I do think it's. I think their fans have really nothing to worry about. If you really had all the confidence in them, you trust where the storyline is actually going, and I think that's a general consensus with more of the conversation that we're going to have tonight about just like trust. Is it trust the process?
Trust the process.
Huh. Interesting.
Do we want to talk about the women's tag titles on Raw, or just get it over with now? Get it over with now, right?
Yeah, we can talk about it. Well, I don't want to just get over. It's a monumental decision, my guy.
I mean, just talk
for the women. Have some respect for the women on this show.
You're not gonna do this. You're not gonna do this to me in 2019, brother. Not this year.
Women's tag team
the whole
title.
Year.
Listen, the women's tag team titles. I, for one, I'll make the announcement. Listen, I have a little. Respect for, advancement, the evolution.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Women's tag team titles have been announced as of Monday Night Raw. They have announced, they showed the beautiful shiny belts that are on the show. I like the look. And they announced that they will actually be up for grabs next month at the Elimination Chamber. 3 teams from Raw, 3 teams from SmackDown up. And it will determine who are the first women tag team champions. Now, I am wondering how the hell they're going to deal with this inter-brand division.
It'll be good. It'll be good.
Are we? Is it gonna be a Facebook Live title defense, or is just like?
No, I mean, I think it'll be good for the women that have a secondary fucking storyline on these shows.
I agree, but it's kind of, you have these two separate brands, and then you kind of have to make an inter-brand belt. I'm interested to see how they actually pull this off.
When Alexa, I'm not even like shocked at that. When Alexa said Elimination Chamber was next month, I said, "Fuck,
yeah,
it's really nice in 5 weeks." Listen, the belts are beautiful. The belts are amazing. In fact, I think they shot past like the UK belts too that just got handed out.
I love the UK belts. UK belts look fucking.
Love the color on these shits as well. I call them shits, the belts.
Yeah, the belts. Come on. They're titles, damn it.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see who the teams are going to be. I mean, the Iconics have already announced they put their hat in the ring for that.
I mean, cool. They kind of had to. I don't know what else they're contending for, quite honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to them in a second too. But I mean, obviously, hug the Sasha Bailey team. Obviously, probably going to be a part of that as well. If Sasha's not the WWE Women's Champion.
Listen, you don't have to hope. In my opinion, you don't gotta hope nothing. But
yeah, it's exciting. I mean, obviously Mandy and Sonya, right? Well, there's three from each. So I think it's pretty much we got. I mean, Tamina and Nia, obviously. Oh, they're gonna win. Are they gonna win?
I wouldn't mind if they won. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, God.
Give Tamina something. Tamina been around forever. Tamina's been
ladies free before 11. Tamina.
You can cut Tamina's head open and check the lines and see how long she's been in WWE. She's been along for a long, long, long time. Give her something. Jeez, Louise. Let her hold the belt. Let her bring the belt home to her family that she sacrifices every week on the roads.
Oh, come on.
As a mother, let her bring the tag team titles home and say, "Listen, we did this for Samoa."
There are plenty of women on that roster that have children and are away from them at long periods of time.
Yeah, but Mickie James has held like 6 championships. Let Tamina bring home one. Just one.
Nah, fuck all that. Nah, they don't need to win. Fuck that. Very excited for it. I mean, we don't know much more information than that. I think the prospects are very high on this. I also think that, I mean, for something that we waited for so long, for them to give it away and just really knock it out the park as far as design and as far as really just having a plan for it already, we gave it a thumbs up. I really like it.
Yeah, I agree too. I mean, the women's tag team titles, the women's rosters can, constantly just inflating. It's getting bigger and it's getting bigger, and they're getting a lot more time on the shows, and they're getting, we're seeing a lot more different personalities on the shows. I'm interested if this ends up being, they end up having a women's only show. I mean, I think that's kind of the next step after these tag team titles, or at least in terms of hopes. We had, Evolution, we've had, the belts, we've had, I feel like a women's only show may be the next step in the future.
Yeah, we may be a little ways away from that, but I do think it is like a natural progression, and I think that's what they're doing with having it be interpromotional. From what I see so far, it allows the women to be on a 3-hour show where they could hold, like, you could realistically build a storyline on Raw and potentially have the match on SmackDown, or something like that. And I think it opens up more call-ups as well. I think when you look at like people like Lacey Evans who could team up with Mickie James or something like that, and that would make sense, Let's get to Raw, SmackDown. Really big shows. I think these shows trumped any of the other news. Was there any other news?
No, not really.
Any AEW stuff? Well, I mean, ROH did some big signing. They had a big taping that I'm pretty sure that you probably don't know about.
I know that they had a show recently. I think they had a pay-per-view last week, didn't they?
They had a huge live event. I'd say.
Oh, there we go. All right. Well,
they kind of introduced their new roster. I have not got a chance to watch it yet. I'm like currently bogged down with a lot of other stuff. When I do watch it, I'll probably tweet out how I felt about it. But I am hearing
live from the Timer Network. Is that live from the Timer Network, baby? Come on!
I'm screaming live from watchwrestling.ch.
Oh my God, we are terrible. I don't know what's in our coffee today, but
no, we're wilding. But yeah, when I watch it, I'll definitely let people know how I felt about it. But I'm hearing ROH is back, so I'm gonna have to try and find time for that as well. But Raw, I'm going to name this one Finn's Big Night Part 2.
I know you've been waiting to do this, man. You've taken a 2000. I'll be honest with you. 2018, not Finn's best year. 2019, looking way better. Also, in 16 days, he's immediately eclipsed anything that he's done.
Well, I'd say longer than that. I mean, he hasn't lost a match since after the Survivor Series.
Shit. I'm not keeping up, but
yeah, he ended Drew McIntyre's undefeated streak.
Then he wait.
He rolled them up. Oh no, it was Dolph, wasn't it? It was Dolph.
Dolph. But yes, I mean, listen, it's Finn's big night. To me, this is I think Monday Night Raw. A lot of people were questioning, and shout out to the Daily Spark who put out the question of like, why was Monday Night Raw? Why is Raw better because of Mania, or is it because of the AEW thing? I think Raw is better simply because they're trying new things.
They flipped the switch.
They're literally. I mean, they got backed into a corner where they really didn't have anywhere else to go. I mean, ratings, viewership was down when they had sort of the big attraction was Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin. So to me, they're kind of using the players, and they have the great players that they are. I'm talking about Seth Rollins, I'm talking about Finn Balor, and they're really sort of the anchors of this entire show. And look, I mean, over the last 2 weeks, we've seen rise. This has been Raw's highest viewership in months.
Since September.
Since, with Finn Balor, going out there and putting everything on the line, and Seth Rollins going out there and putting everything on the line, and just having big matches too, Intercontinental title matches, Brock Lesnar, championship implication main events, like a lot of different things. So I think, as the momentum keeps rolling, we'll keep seeing these big shows. But yes, I mean, Finn's big night. This is like Ferris Bueller's Day Off for him. Like he's the attraction, he's the dance, he's the show, he's the singing, he's doing everything on this show.
Yeah, I mean, again, like we said with the revival, it is a testament. I've been saying this. You're right. I've been saying it for months. He'll be fine. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't. I mean, Finn was always characterized as a guy who doesn't win the big one, and when he was first introduced, what was he introduced as? He was a guy that wins the big one because this
big one, and
then he stopped winning the big. But it's a testament again, like to you couldn't just heat up Finn again. There were too many moving parts that you couldn't just slide him into something. It was like Roman still needed his story, Brock still needed his story, Seth still needed his story.
Though. I disagree.
There was no. Here's my thing. There was no. When you even look at how these pay-per-views even shook out at the time, there was nowhere for him.
I disagree. Main for
where was he gonna go? Where was he gonna go? He came back before Great Balls of Fire. Where was he gonna go? Great Balls of Fire, Samoa Joe, Brock match. Where was he gonna go?
How long? I mean, he didn't have to be in that sort of main event, but at the same time, it's like these high-profile things.
He was in a lot of high-profile things.
He was in Baron Corbin's Playhouse for like 3 months, bro. Like
he was going against Seth Rollins for like 4.
He was in Seth, yeah, for at the beginning of the year, but literally that's kind of the only. I feel like
he was a Final Four in the Rumble last year.
This is true.
I mean, they never. Here's my thing: you can't sit here right now and tell me they never thought highly of the guy. He's always on TV.
Well, yeah, duh.
Like they like you can't like you sometimes. Sometimes you would talk like you felt like he was Heath Slater, and it's just like
I didn't feel like that. I felt like there was nothing substantial for someone who there should be something substantial for, and there's the talent to show it up.
Sometimes that happens.
I mean, 100%, but at the same time, it happened for a long time. And you know what? He was used to put over a lot of people, and that's great. I mean, that's great. But at the same time, I didn't beg the question of like, no, let me finish. I didn't beg the question of like, yo, this guy's like, a loser. But at the same time, I was like, yo, he loses a lot. Finn Balor should be doing a lot more on Monday Night Raws. When we talked about for a long time, Raw was trash. It was in the bag.
Finn being on top, I don't think at that point, because of what they wanted to do,
it wouldn't have been better. It worked now.
It wouldn't have been better at that time because you still had Roman.
But how many times are we going to see Roman versus Strowman, Roman versus Brock? Like, this is what I'm saying.
I don't know.
No, but this is what I'm saying. I'm just like, yo, we have him on the show. We have someone who's been in this main event scenario before, who's been Universal Champion, and he isn't even contending for it. Like, the space for him it was someone who's substantial for the show, but wasn't being used in a substantial sort of way. And
Here's
it
my
was
thing.
infuriating for me as a fan of Finn, and I am a fan of Finn, but I also do notice when he loses. But it's like,
who was he used to put over?
Braun Strowman, Baron Corbin,
everyone.
Rollins, Drew
he beat Baron. I think he had a winning percentage against Baron.
He's lost to Baron Corbin. He's
twice.
He lost twice in a row before, Thing the Demon. But it's just like beyond the wins and losses, he wasn't used as he was used to sort of put over people. I get it though. He's good. He's a fan favorite no matter what. But I always felt like, there should be a substantial place for him on the show. And I don't want to say like, oh, how are they going to fit him in? Well, listen, we're really going to do Roman versus Strowman for 3 months, and then another Roman versus, and then Brock versus Roman again for another. Come on, let's use the players that we have on the show. If Roman Reigns didn't get injured, would he be in this position? Who the hell knows? Probably not. So it's kind of like, to me, it was again, I say, repeat another time, a substantial performer not being used in a substantial way. And that was always my beef with it. And, I'm glad for him getting it. I'm glad for this main event change because it's a different main event. And it's good. And people want to see it. And I think that's the biggest thing.
I think that this was what happened Monday. I don't think it was as strong as the first one from 2016. I thought that was one of the greatest Raws of all time anyway. Mm-hmm. But I thought that this was still a substantial Raw in that they used everything. They played on every one of those emotions, every one of those feelings that you had for the past 2018. They played on that all Raw. I literally saw, I think it was Amp came in the chat and was like, so are they going to have Jinder and Finn go against each other so that they have an excuse for when he loses later? And I was like, I don't think they're going to do that tonight.
No, I didn't think they would do that.
But the fact that people thought that was enough for me to be like, all right, I think that they're going to hook, line, and sinker them because they played on every emotion. It's like, no, they're not going to do. They're definitely going to have him lose because it's the type of shit that he's been doing and going through for a year now.
Yeah, and because he lost a lot.
He did not lose a lot. He had one of the highest win percentages in 2018.
Shout out to the house shows, but yes, he lost a lot on the actual. It's not that
he did. It was that was.
I'm
plus.
saying it's not coming out of nowhere. But I'm saying it's not coming out of nowhere. Like the way Amp feels about this isn't coming out of nowhere.
I didn't say it
realize that, right? No,
I didn't say it did.
And I'm not saying that you said you did, but I'm saying that it's not coming out of nowhere. And I see why people would think that, but I'll say this. I didn't think that. I thought the way they crafted the story for Finn Balor on Monday Night Raw was incredible and put that doubt in people's heads and also gave him another match, which was exciting. It was something that no one expected and everyone kind of expected him to lose. And he kind of came back beyond the odds and kind of fought back. And, the
promo was good. The promo was his best promo he's ever cut.
Yeah, I think he has renewed vigor in him. I think he's just like, yo, this is the opportunity that I've been waiting for, and it's time to seize the opportunity. And it's time to the Brock Lesnar-Finn Balor match is something apparently Brock Lesnar has wanted, but also the people have wanted as well. And I'm glad we're finally going to get it.
But we get what we want, just not when we want it, of course.
Yep.
Same shit with Asuka. About Cena's... basically, getting the rub from Cena in that fatal 4-way match, which I thought Raw had 2 really good matches on Monday, and one of them was the fatal 4-way match, and the other was the Lashley Rollins Ambrose IC title match. But I mean, Finn Balor took a lot. He took every finisher. Yeah. He took a super AA. And he kicked out of it. Like if when WWE wants to push you, and it's the same with Asuka, when they want to push you, they fucking push you, and
I think
they push you to the moon.
Yeah, that was definitely a Cena thing, but yeah, it's granted, super.
He's the most selfless. He's the most selfless. He's the most selfless top guy we've ever known. Keep it 100.
Yeah, I'll say it because he doesn't really have anything to lose, nor can he lose it. What are you gonna say about 16-time world champion? Oh, he stinks. He can't win the big one. Like, I think granted, Cena's injection in Monday Night Raw, I think, is another factor in why we've had the upswing of Raw, just over the last couple of weeks.
You said it. I mean, you called it.
Yeah, just the selflessness and then the injection of star power. People want to see John Cena. People want to see these fresh matchups against people. And I think this Fatal 4-Way, you had all the great elements of what's left on Monday Night Raw. I mean, you have, Drew McIntyre in the fold, who has been on a roll himself, and even with one win, could make a formidable competitor to Brock Lesnar.
I love the promo at the end of the match. I almost cried. It was a really good promo.
I mean, it's great. Part of me selfishly wanted to see Cena Brock 3.
Oh wow, no, I'm good. Do you think WWE is going to go all the way with Finn this time, or do you think this is pretty much the match that sets him? Like, I feel like a lot of people that like lose to, I mean, I guess Samoa Joe notwithstanding, even though he did get like injured right after, but like once they lose to Brock, they're pretty much set in that top tier. Mm-hmm. So I don't think if he loses, it would be a bad thing. But do you think they're going to go all the way and have him beat Brock?
Nah.
Okay. I don't think so either. But I do think that this is the table setting for him to be pretty much a perennial title contender pretty much for the rest of 2019, I think. I think nothing bad comes from losing to Brock.
Yeah. I would hope so. Hope.
It didn't hurt AJ, didn't hurt Cena, never hurt Roman, clearly, never hurt Braun, except that Crown Jewel one was like, ugh. But
I would hope from this Monday Night Raw, they kind of, and especially how well it's done, and especially, I mean, the crowd kind of sucked, but it is what it is.
It's Memphis. They popped for Jerry the King Lawler.
Well, they have one pony in the race, and the pony is getting pretty old. But I hope they will learn their lesson that, listen, let's try these new guys out and let's give people what they want. And I think they have. I mean, that was their proclamation a couple of weeks ago, and they kind of done that. So yeah, let's see where this goes.
All right. Braun, from one to the other. Now we're looking at the inverse of Finn right now. Braun Strowman's fall from grace. Holy shit, is he a dweeb? I remember a year and a half ago, maybe, I told you that I felt like the Jinder Mahal WWE Championship loss on SmackDown was a write-off. And initially you were like, he's going to come back and he'll get the U.S. title, he'll go to Cena. And I was like, I don't know.
He did get the U.S. title, by the way.
He ended up getting it, but he didn't get Cena.
Oh yeah, he didn't get Cena.
So I'm feeling it's feeling very write-off-ish to me for Braun, at least for the immediate future here. Obviously he's still injured. Yeah, obviously he's still injured, but I think there are a lot of other circumstances that even if he wasn't injured, I feel like this. I mean, obviously this was the plan for Finn. So even if he wasn't injured, he wasn't getting the match anyway. So it's like it even feels worse, where it's like this was a guy that damn near beat everyone in the Elimination Chamber by himself last year. And now he's a guy who just flipped a limo and lost a title match.
There were reports that this bait and switch was the plan all along, and it was just Finn Balor was supposed to, always be the thing. But in terms of the bait and switch, it greatly benefits Finn Balor, but it doesn't for Braun Strowman.
He looks like a dweeb.
Yeah, it does. And to me, if that's your plan to sort of fake it out, then I feel like you're just don't even bother putting Braun Strowman into place anyway. But maybe, a couple months ago they had a certain plan and the plan sort of fell through. But to me, don't put him in the position if you're just going to switch him out anyway. It kind of seems like for someone as Braun Strowman who could be used in a different capacity, and my still capacity is, let's get him against, well, it was to get him against Lars Sullivan, but
yeah.
It's sorry, Lars. But Braun Strowman, he just kind of looks like he's lost his mojo a bit. And to me, even with the whole Vince McMahon confrontation, I thought that did him no favors either. That Vince McMahon kind of just punked this giant beast right in front of our eyes.
But I mean, to be fair, he punks everybody.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like if you're, it's this just giant beast of this monster of a man of Braun Strowman. And he's there kind of like
he made Big Show cry.
Well, Big Show cries all the time. He's like they're like stammering in front of Vince McMahon, like I could put the door back. Like it's like I don't know. I wish Braun Strowman the best in his new endeavors, whichever that. his perennial Baron Corbin program that I'm assuming is coming up in the future.
Oh Lord, I can't wait for that. Good luck. What are your thoughts on the appearances of the call-ups for this week? They announced that all of the call-ups will appear on both SmackDown and Raw, and so they are officially assigned to a brand. I'm a fan of it. I'm not mad at it.
I like the different way that they're calling people up, but then just because it's different, which is great. I think Nikki probably had the best showing to me.
Yeah. She's ready to go on any brand.
Yeah,
I liked what she looked like on Raw. I love that look.
I could see her on SmackDown, but either way, Monday Night Raw also looked great on her. EC3, he kind of debuted in like a picture-in-picture type of deal, so I was just like, this is how we doing it? Okay.
But then he showed up on SmackDown.
Oh yeah, then he showed up on SmackDown, kind of, but yeah.
I love the cameos because I think that pop to me, I pop more for that. Because to me, it seems like they're completely retaining their characters from NXT.
Well, right.
And I think that like EC3, the narcissist, like the cocky narcissist, is a cool thing to have if you're going to have him go that way. He could either be babyface or heel. I think they should lean more heel towards him. Mm-hmm. I think being face on NXT gave him no favors there. I thought he was bland there. But I mean, even Otis, man, that was tremendous. 2 nights in a row. I thought they were great. I thought they stole the show. For me,
I mean, y'all could have him. I mean, if he makes you guys happy,
comedy act. He's a great comedy act.
I mean, if y'all like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever. I think there was a much to do about nothing about the way that these guys were.
You know what? If I can be mad at it, I thought it was good, but I'm not. I'm just not a heavy machinery guy. I'm just not. I invite them to prove me wrong. I'm sure they will. I love stupid stuff, but just not a heavy machinery guy right now.
Oh my God. I don't know. I think people getting upset that they were debuted in a comedy angle when they're a comedy team is pretty off the wall. I think you get a pretty good idea of these guys' characters, even without them being in the ring and them not having to be in a ring and have a program. Because literally right now, Meelz, there's nothing for these people. Like there is no program. Like, everyone's busy. Like introducing a guy right now or a woman in a program, Mandy and Naomi, they're busy. That would have been honestly a good first feud for anybody on the women's side, but they're busy. So you insert Nikki there where there's the Riot Squad and you need a third person and Sasha's busy. Like I love the way they're intertwining these call-ups. I really don't see like the big deal with like what they're doing with them. I think it's novel. Stop doing video packages. Just have them show up. Have them be in the background. Have them do cameos. And then the people that recognize them, though, like you heard the NXT chant when Otis came out. Like people recognize these people. Just give them a chance to kind of show their personality first instead of the in-ring first. And I think it's a pretty novel idea because a lot of like maybe 2 or 3 of them, Lacey and Heavy Machinery in particular, they're more personality than in-ring to me.
I agree.
Bobby Lashley, IC champion, Black Champs. I'm cool with it.
I thought the match was fantastic. If there's anything that got me hyped for Bobby Lashley, it was that match because of just kind of all the chaos and how things were kind of running. And then you got this real raw moment of, after Bobby Lashley wins. And I think he was genuinely excited. And I think everyone was genuinely excited. And it was weird because we're not supposed to be for Bobby Lashley, considering he's the heel and everything like that. But I don't think you could. For someone, I think the story itself of him first championship in like 13 years, come back to WWE, kind of finally getting his footing back, winning with that monster spear. I thought it was fantastic. Like I thought it was amazing, and I'm all for it.
Best he's been in a year since he came back. Shout out to Leo as well. I thought Leo's promo before the match absolutely fantastic. I think Leo is on another level with his promos. I think he really does belong. He belongs in the discussion for probably one of the best on the mic guys in the WWE right now, to me.
Nah, I wouldn't be that to me.
Fantastic.
But I think he's pretty good.
He's fantastic. Like even if you just look at like the Twitter stuff he does, he's great there. Like he sells this character.
A great personality. I'll agree with that. A fantastic personality. But you know who's great on the stick? Wait. That was not a great thing to say about what we're going to have coming up next.
Love who you want to love.
You know who's great on the mic? Sasha Banks.
You sure?
Yeah, I'll say it. Well, you know what? I thought she was mean, but I also think that I kind of do think Sasha Banks is kind of mean in real life. But
You got to be. It's cutthroat.
She was cutthroat, and I said this from the beginning. I was like, listen, Sasha is going to give Ronda hell. And you know why? Because Sasha probably 100% believes that she should be champion. Should be champion.
Oh yeah, you feel it.
Yeah, you feel it. You feel the way that's cutthroat and the way they're going back and they've thrown these barbs at them. And it's just like, to me, I just tweeted. I remember I tweeted, I was like, yo, I think the women, because a lot of the women feuds kind of, spill over onto social media. And I'm like, they're going a lot harder than the guys are. And I don't think this is all like fun and games, believe it or not. Like, they're pulling out real life facts and real life situations. And it's just like, whew, maybe I'm being worked, but they're cutthroat, and Sasha was cutthroat on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, she was really good in that segment with Ronda. I thought Ronda was really good too. I think that's like a really underrated aspect, is that Ronda really is playing up this like excitement, and I think that her like the misspeaking of what she was saying was like, Ronda's got a competitive edge, and it kind of spilled over and it became not sincere, which is human. And even though it wasn't like the way it's written is kind of weird. It's almost like if me and you were playing basketball and I'm like, man, you good, but I'm about to dunk on your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. Like Ronda took that. She kind of took that stance, and Sasha was like, what you mean? Like, what the fuck do you mean? You know what I'm saying? Like,
what's going on here?
Yeah, what the fuck? Like that was, and I felt like that was really like a human interaction, because like, I don't know about a bunch of wrestling writers that didn't understand what the fuck that was going on. I understood it completely. Like, I was like, okay, so, like they're both jockeying for the greatest position that they could have, and that is the title. And it's like, yo, you're not going to tell me that you about to wash me. I'm about to wash you.
Right.
I really respect and I understood that, and I fuck with really the writing there. It's like, I feel like it's kind of layered. Where it's like Sasha doesn't have to do that and make her automatically a heel. It makes her really just somebody who wants to be the best. And that's
like someone handed Sasha a paper and said, "Say this," and she's like, "Nah, I got this. Relax."
Yeah, even the stuff on the ramp was
I've been wanting to talk my stuff for years. Like,
yeah,
she's gonna deliver a hell of a match, a Royal Rumble. I do think so. I think Sasha Banks delivers in the ring, and I think we're gonna get a hell of a match between Ronda and Sasha Banks. And then, interested to see where this goes.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So that was
That's
Raw.
the longest we've talked about Raw with excitement in a long time.
The whole 3-hour show, pretty much. All the big points hit. Like, we didn't skip pretty much anything.
I mean, other than their party, Little Lucha, they're doing the, shout out to Little Lucha.
I will not care about that, like, ever. So, I mean, if you want to bring that up,
they need to be Smash Brothers characters. That's what they need to be.
They're as tall as them. On to SmackDown Live. Again, another fantastic episode. I thought, actually, I'm going to be a little bit controversial. I think that other than this match we're about to talk about, I thought this SmackDown was pretty regular across the board this week.
All right, well.
Other than this match, yeah, it was. It was pretty regular. This match gets it over this match. Well, don't get me wrong. It was excellent SmackDown. This match made it an excellent SmackDown. I think without this match, it wouldn't have been. And there was very little in ring in the SmackDown other than Rey Mysterio and Andrade.
We telling stories, baby. Come on, we out here telling stories. You saw the fight you saw the fights.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it, but it's like, I thought that without that, I mean, if that segment, if that hotel segment was the highlight of this Raw or the SmackDown, it wouldn't have been better than Raw.
Listen, you saw the man roll in. The SmackDown opens up. Man is walking in.
I saw the man roll in and have a completely fucking mid match with fucking Billy with Peyton Royce, and then Asuka have an even worse match in 1 minute with someone who couldn't even take out her offense correctly.
You listen. So all right. As long as we're not blaming who we're blaming, we're blaming who we're blaming. You know what I'm saying? But
what do you mean? Who's I blaming? Who's I blaming?
You know who you blaming. You know who you blaming on why that match was bad. You know who you was blaming. Come on.
I just said who I was blaming.
Yeah.
The Iconics.
They're gonna be great faces in 2019.
Yeah, they need to do something because no.
They need to, you know what they need to orbit around the New Day.
Bro, they can't even like get squashes right. Also, why is Becky going 50-50 with Peyton Royce?
Was it 50-50?
Yes, it was like an 8-minute match.
Well,
I think it had a commercial break.
It might have a commercial break just on the virtue of we got to go to commercial at some point, my man. Like, she punched her in the throat, which is the greatest part ever.
Becky in jeans can't get.
Listen, we had no Charlotte. The first time we had no Charlotte on SmackDown. I'm interested. No Charlotte. No, you know.
Well, I think you give her I think you put her in the Rumble, and I think that's her storyline. I'm pretty sure Charlotte's going.
First of all, they need to start heating up this women's Royal Rumble.
Do they need to? It's the Royal Rumble. You're gonna watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch, but like, come on, let's get me some excited. We're about to have the pool started. I want people excited, man. I want people to think that their pick is gonna win.
Hold on, last year we were not excited for it.
What do you mean? Women's Royal Rumble, first time Royal Rumble. Who would not be excited for it? I mean, the ladies were coming back. The people were coming back. This is the first time. It was intrigued. I made a statement. I was wondering if people could go over the top rope.
You can't do that a second time. You can't do that a second time. And also, like this.
No. They're not doing it a second time. I truly believe that. It feels more that they're going to use what they have instead of depend. We might get some old surprises. You might get one or two, but I don't think we're going to get like half of the Rumble is like 2017. Like 1999 through 2007 anymore. I don't think we're getting that.
Yeah, sure. I don't think I'm not excited. I think it's going to be what it is. I think it's going to be great. You got some. I mean, you're missing Asuka, but I think you're gaining a new Becky, and you're going to have a really cool match there. But yeah, no, Charlotte. I don't think I realized that till you said it that she wasn't on the show. Yeah, I mean, you don't need her. No. So I have her.
She's gonna be hating in the background like she always does. You know how it is.
Jesus Christ! I love when you get on your beauty shop Meelz voice.
Listen, you better back up. You better back up. You better back up.
You better back up. No, there's another good line I'm gonna get to when we get to that part.
Oh my god!
AJ Styles was slanging glizzies on this.
Oh my god!
Why was AJ Styles handing out freedom fries and glizzies to people?
Because you saw what happened in the White House earlier this week. My man was hanging out all types of freedom fries: Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's, Domino's. AJ Styles just trying to keep that same energy. You know,
this new AJ Styles character is very unhinged. I don't think people are like recognizing how like insane he is now. He's literally crazy.
He beat up Vince McMahon, and he's just been beating up people over the last couple of weeks. Man, literally, you know what he did? You know what was the weirdest thing that the new AJ Styles did? He interrupted Becky and Asuka, walked around the ring, then walked back into the crowd, and then back to the back. The man took the scenic route to the venue.
Did you see Asuka tweet him? Did you see Asuka tweet him? What are you staring at?
I didn't see that, but that is classic.
Yo, Asuka destroyed Becky on Twitter this week. I think Asuka's the undisputed queen of Twitter now.
Listen.
You are cracked. You are cracked. But that, I mean, there was a short segment between Daniel Bryan and AJ. Not much from them this week. I'm pretty sure that will heat up next week. I'm pretty sure they'll have some type of interaction better or deeper than that. I had no opinion on it either way. But
they might be just trying to get this thing over with.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think AJ's WrestleMania program is this year?
Ooh.
Right? I have no, like, listen, Mania wise, I have no clue what we're getting.
Oh, yeah, me neither. We usually kind of have an indication. We know the women's match, or we have an idea of the women's match. But
yeah, we knew Asuka was in it last year. Yeah,
you got nothing idea. I mean, we heard rumors of Cena versus Lars Sullivan. Don't know where Lars Sullivan is.
Doesn't look like that's happening either, because I don't think Cena's going to be on the show next week either.
Ooh.
Pretty sure he's not on the show next week.
All right. Well,
yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. As we move forward, because I mean, I'm pretty sure we know what Shane's probably going to be doing. But Andrade Rey Mysterio.
Let's talk about the stuff. Yeah, let's talk about this. Andrade, new Andrade, no longer Cien Almas, just
that's
Andrade.
Cool. That's cool. I'm cool with it. They put on an instant classic, brother.
Listen, I asked the people. I know you gave it your rating. and you gave your rating outside of just, the conversation. I said, how many stars we throwing at this?
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of stars thrown at my way, man. People are feeling this match. People are giving 5 stars, 6 stars in the dome. I got the 4 1/4s, 4 1/2. I get it, whatever. I'm giving it 5 stars, baby.
Yeah, 5. I gave it 4.5. I think if it went maybe a couple more minutes, I think for me, these TV matches, they really take a lot out when they do the commercial breaks for me. And to me, it loses momentum because I will look down, I'll do something else. In this case, I'm DVRing, so I'm fast forwarding. I might, what I'm saying? Like it's tough,
Maybe you need to stop. Maybe that's on you. Maybe you ain't see what we saw, but what I saw, 5 stars, baby.
It was a great match. I think that it's literally, to me, a highlight reel for Andrade more than anything.
To me, this was, I'll give us a hot take, best SmackDown match in like 15 years.
This is the same show that had the AJ Bryan match from the end of the year last year. That was up there for me.
This was better than
that. Even if you didn't think that was better, the one where they didn't have any near falls.
This
and then it ended. I
would put some Halloween Havoc type shit right here.
I'll put it on that level.
All right, let's. You know what? It can't be mad at a lot of.
I'm a little not trapped in that moment. I appreciate the match for what it is because I know they're gonna have another one.
The moment was incredible. Maybe you had to be there. No, I
didn't have to be there. It's TV.
The Twitter streets are on fire. I didn't have
to be there. I didn't have to be there. I'm good.
Let me tell you what you had to be here for. This whole Jey Uso, Mandy Rose Naomi situation. You just had to be there for that one.
You think I wanted you?
Yo, let's talk about Mandy Rose's getting to go off for a bit and just like
best acting ever.
She killed it, didn't she? I thought I was the only one. I was like, yo, she killed it. Like she really did. Like she came with it. And you know what? It was the way she delivered it and what she was saying, because it was one of those things that WWE does, but like most movies do, where the supervillain like tells their plan and just like, you thought I wanted you, this is why I did it. For this, that, and the third. And Jey Uso like, word,
No, Jey Uso said, my wife. And he walked away.
She knew what time it was.
It was like a weird camera cut. And it was like, she was just there. I was just like, wait a minute, so huh? And then, but it was like Mandy was staring at us, like, or at the camera for like maybe like 15 seconds, and then Naomi's just there.
She's not a pro, but she gets it done. Listen, how do you feel about the upping and the sexually suggestive, tones on Raw and SmackDown this week?
It's not the only. We kind of glossed over the Alexa showing her bare back. Oh my God,
bare back.
Bare back. As long as it's not the focal point of anything, I'm fine with it. And from what I see, it's not. Obviously, the Mandy thing had a reason.
Yeah.
Oh man, my Alexa turned on. I gotta just turn her off. But yeah. So I as long as it's not like a focal point of these shows, like I'm completely fine with it. Like what was attitude? What was attitudinal about that? This is very on the Attitude Era scale. This was like a 2 out of 10.
Oh, this is more PG-13. This is like,
yeah, it was.
This was like, all right, well, come on.
There's a lot of people that don't be getting no,
action. I tell you,
action that was bad about that. I was like, what? Huh? What are y'all mad about this? Y'all crazy. How about Naomi doing all that huffing and puffing and getting that ass slung?
What? All right. So I'm not even gonna say that. First of all, Naomi was being all right. I'm not even gonna argue.
I'm just saying she got slung. She got slung.
She's supposed to.
She was behind the couch, and like Jimmy had to find her. Jimmy was like, "Where's my wife? Is she behind the bed? No, she's behind the curtains in the window."
She was beating that ass, and she, tired herself out.
Yeah, and then escape in a towel. She let her escape in a towel. Come on, man.
I don't know.
Step your game up. Come on, Naomi got to come correct.
Well, you thought she got to finish the job? You wanted to kill her? Damn, come on.
Hey, listen. I need to, and fuck all that. Fuck all that. Let's talk about Jey Uso. What you gonna do, bruh?
What you? Yo, this is so UPN.
What you gonna do, bruh?
Oh my god.
What that mean?
You know what it meant.
Oh, I don't know what that mean. I don't know that energy. That's not my energy.
You know what that meant.
So yeah, so like he does. He's like he gets the hotel key, and Jay's like, "What you gonna do, Oos?" It's like what? Not cheat on my wife.
They've been there before. I know that. This ain't new.
Oh my! What was the conversation like? Like, because I know if you bring that to any girl, it's like, how'd you get the key?
You finna jumper. You finna jumper.
Hell no! Nah. She asked him 18 million questions. She was like, "So how'd you get the key?" So you mean to tell me she put this key in his box? I want to see the camera footage. So Jimmy probably had to get the camera.
Like, baby, look, it says anniversary right here. It's not nothing. See, I didn't even ask for this. Like I thought it came from you. You know,
he still got chewed out because she got her ass whipped too.
Yeah. Where were you at? Where were you at? Come on. You saw me out here, baby. I thought you got it. You know I was out here. You know.
You better back up.
How you just gonna leave the door open? Everyone just looking at me, and damn. Come on.
Get her ass slung.
Get my shoes. Come on.
Did Mandy even pay for the room? Did she get her key back? Like what?
My left shoe. Come on.
I have so many questions about this.
Yo, did she pay for the room? That's a good question.
She did it come out of the incidentals? Like because she tried to slam her to the TV. There was like some type of Matrix move, and listen.
There's some Kill Bill out here, man.
We could detect and kind of like dissect this whole segment, like this whole for like an hour, and we would still not get anywhere with it. I think it was one of the best segments on TV, on wrestling TV, in a very long time. I really loved it.
I loved it too.
You want to talk about this Miz and Shane thing?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead. I felt nothing for it. I really want to know what the point of all this is.
So the Miz is out here throwing a birthday. I was surprised. I looked at the clock and I said, huh. It was like 9:47. And I was like, huh, wonder what's coming on after this. And then I didn't realize
this shit had 2 commercial breaks. Yeah, it's had 2 commercial breaks.
This is closing the show. I was like, huh.
Dude, I was annoyed by the end of this. I was like, yo, this could not be closing the show.
It's Shane McMahon's shoot birthday. Shoot birthday. Not one of them fake ones. Not one of them is it your life type of deals. This is shoot birthday. So the Miz is out here, celebrating and showering with all types of joy and giving him the appreciation that he deserves to build his team camaraderie. And I am here for this. Even though I'm not, I don't really trust Shane McMahon. I'll be honest with you. Shane McMahon, people say they don't trust the Miz. I don't trust Shane McMahon. I don't really think he's fully a team player. But you know what? He got in there. We had an impromptu match, Miz in slacks versus Sheamus, and completely prepared to actually wrestle. And, a lot of things happened. Cesaro went through a table. I was like, what the hell was up with that? That was a very... I don't know where Shane McMahon and his part ownership of all of this gets to kick people's butts, but,
I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop here. This is yet another Shane McMahon angle that is going far too long for me. This is
it just started. Relax. Come on. Let's get to the tag team championship part.
What? Meelz, get the fuck out of here. Just started? This has been going since November. What are you talking about?
It just started. Come on.
No, it didn't.
AJ Styles feud's going on.
The fact that the Crown Jewel trophy is still on the fucking AJ Styles has had 2 feuds.
It's integral. It's integral, man. Come on, it's integral part of this. It's integral. This is the bond. This is the bond that brought them together.
You are Dave Meltzer.
Well, I'm not Dave Meltzer. This is the bond that brought them together.
You're Dave Meltzer. You literally just lied and said it just started.
When the video package for WrestleMania shows up and that trophy's in it, I just want you to remember that your trophy was always there. It was always an integral part of this, of who's the best in the world. Just remember that.
I need a co-host. I'm tired of this guy. I'm tired of you.
But the Miz won against Sheamus. That was surprising as well. Mind you, not prepared to wrestle in slacks, serving birthday cakes. And that closed the show. A coast to coast with a birthday cake closed the show.
That was SmackDown.
How many? You think the doctor goes to Shane McMahon and was like, you got about 6 more coast to coast than you before that's a wrap, brother. Because
I'm using all these. Well, he said, I'm about to use all these shits.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Fuck you mean? Count it up. Right. So that was SmackDown and Raw for the week. Meelz, we have a cool announcement of a show that's dropping next Monday. What you got to say, bro?
Listen, next week Monday we're dropping the CM Punk episode. I think that's what we'll just call it, the CM Punk episode, because it's been 5 years, almost 5 years since he left the WWE, and a whole lot of things have changed in his wake. And you know what? I'll say this openly, just to be very, very transparent. We've already recorded the episode. We have. Well,
I think people will probably glean that already.
I don't know. We got a weekend, but we've already recorded the episode. It's a very spicy episode with the guests that we have involved. I feel like we'll just announce the guests when the show is up. But we have trust me, the guests are top notch. The guests are incredible. They're amazing. They're top notch. They're the guys you want to get when you need them. But they're incredible guests, and it's a very spicy episode. I think it's really drawn down the line of people, who feel one way about CM Punk, and others who feel not the same way about CM Punk. So that is that to look forward to. I advise all of you. It's dropping next week Monday. Yes, it's dropping next week Monday. I advise all of you, please tune in. It's going to be fun. Some people have the day off next week Monday.
Oh yeah. That's actually a perfect day for the drop.
Yeah.
Let's get the long-awaited rules for the Royal Rumble pool out of the way, because we're going to be
official A-Show Royal Rumble pool, by the way.
Yes, the official A-Show Royal Rumble pool. We're doing it again this year. I'm so excited that we're going to be doing this again. And again, we're going to be dropping a longer or pretty much the rules as well on Twitter as well, just in case you miss it on the show. But I mean, if you didn't, thanks for coming to the end of the show to listen to them. So here, the rules are as follows. The A-Show Royal Rumble pool will feature 30 participants, with each entry counting towards the men's and women's Royal Rumble, giving you 2 chances to win. So to enter the Royal Rumble pool, follow RNC Radio Live on Twitter and reply to the tweet that we send out for the actual pool with hashtag the A-Show RR. We're going to be opening the A-Show Royal Rumble pool on Thursday, January 17th. Yes, that is today at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So 11 a.m. Pretty much when the show comes out. As soon as the show comes out, it'll be live. As soon as the show comes out. We're closing the entries, okay, on Tuesday, January 22nd. So you listen to the CM Punk show. Then the next day you have a whole 24 hours.
You finished SmackDown. You're like, all right, we got something going now. Like, hey, you're in your hype. Listen, you got 1 more hour after that to get everything sort of, Oh wait, I guess SmackDown ends at 10 p.m. in the Pacific. You got some time.
Yeah, you got a lot of time. 1 a.m.
You got time. Yeah.
And then 10 p.m. PST, it closes.
Right.
Each entrant will receive the respective number via direct message from the RNC Radio Live account.
Random number, by the way. Random number. The winners of the men and women's A-Show Royal Rumble pool will win an appearance on a future episode of the A-Show. Okay? So that means, we have a couple of cool episodes coming up. So if you win it, you'll be a part of that shit. It's going to be really dope. So, yeah, I think it's a fun prize. I mean, for those who've ever wanted to be on the A-Show and talk it up, I mean, my fellow Ms. Hive, if you're interested, please sign up. Can't just be the only Miz guy here, but whatever. But
the thing that I love about it the most is that now this year the entries count for both. So like there's a bigger chance that you'll be able to win, and it makes it a lot more spicy.
Listen, either one person can win or 2 people can win, because you have twice the opportunity to win.
Last year we had it was funny, like just the winners ended up being people that just kind of like came close. So it was like Rob, Ugly New York, of course, and Amp, which is like hilarious because Amp had literally the worst picks of both. I think did Rob win the women? I think Rob won the women's one and Amp won the men's one.
I don't remember, but yeah,
I don't remember either. But those are the rules, and so when the show airs, we will put these rules up and we will be looking for entries for the Royal Rumble pool. And with that is the end of this episode of the A-Show, episode 65. Of course, follow us at RNC Radio Live. Obviously, you have to follow us at RNC Radio Live to enter the pool, but follow us and you'll get to see everything that we are coming up with. Pretty much, we have so many like playlists and shows and shit. We just had a show fucking premiere on Tuesday, the Cable Box with Pafifi. He's going over True Detective season 3. He has a board of like conspiracies about the show already. So like every week, every Monday, pretty much you can hear his theories on True Detective season 3. Meelz, you just announced some really, really big news also last week as well. You want to tell the people about what happened?
So we've announced that we are reaching the final arc of Two Belts, and Two Belts will be ending. So if you're a fan of the Two Belts podcast, we have a few more episodes left. The final episode will be March 15th. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun working towards it. We have a lot of ideas. We have an episode coming up I think it'll even make you say, wow, Justin. So that is coming up. Actually, we did get a few ratings this week.
We did?
We did get a couple ratings this week. I want to give a shout out to, and last week on the A show, we said, if you rate the show 5 stars on the Facebook, on iTunes, we will read your comments out loud, or at least give you a shout out. So I want to give a shout out to Tashawn the Don.
Turn up. What's up, Tashawn? What's popping?
He said, burn it down. He said, the A show is one of my favorite podcasts to listen to on a weekly basis. Justin and Meelz are the 2 dopest people that are following. It's incredible to see how far they've come in such a short time. Honestly, these guys inspire me because for too long there haven't been African-American representation in the wrestling community. RNC as a whole is a movement. I support it because the entire channel is just filled with incredible content. I encourage everyone to give them a listen, and I guarantee you'll be hooked. Keep up the good work and the immaculate content. So shout out to Tashawn the Don.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. And that's literally what we do it for.
And we have GC650 who said, A show RSPN, late fees keep me up to date with everything during the work commute. Keep it up, guys. So yes. Thank you guys for tuning in to everything RNC Radio related.
Oh man, that fills my heart with so much joy. I really love, that you guys love the things that we do. It's really, really dope to me, and I'm taken aback. That made me very emotional.
We got one comment. I'm checking our 5 stars. We got 1 2-star rating. It's from this guy named RIP Lil Saint.
Really?
It's regular. I feel like it's one of those people you blocked, man. See, listen, this is what we're doing out here. But listen, even your haters are listening to us. I'll be honest with you.
Well, whatever. Fuck it. It's cool. You can do that. But shout out to Tashawn the Don and GC650 for leaving us those 5-star ratings. Once again, every single week, if you leave us a 5-star rating on iTunes, we will get back with you and we will shout you out on the show. But once again, thank you guys for listening. Keep informed with everything that we're doing on RNC Radio, following us at RNC Radio Live. We have playlists and podcasts and all types of things coming. We had RSPN also air this week as well. Shout out to Mark and Jeff. But until next time, next week, we got 2 shows. So we got CM Punk show, we got a pool, and we have the A show next week. So pretty stacked week. We're entering the Rumble, or not like Rumble season, but we're also entering the road to WrestleMania. So this is super exciting. It's my favorite time of the year. Meelz, I'm hyped. Are you hyped? Are you ready?
I'm hype.
Oh my God, whatever. It's getting too late. So until next time, guys. See you guys later.
Happy Rusev Day.